What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the Nines. We've got another special guest for you today. Another place again. The power of social media with Twitter and Instagram. I've got Itay here from LCFC Israel. First of all, Itay, how are you doing?
How are you? Good evening.
Good evening. Yes. Just a quick one. So, just to let people know again, where are you from, and what's your story following Leicester City?
So I'm from Jerusalem, Israel, and I'm following Leicester City almost 10 years. I remember the first time I saw the team. I'm a big football fan, and I obviously follow the English football, and I never liked the top six and the big teams. So I watched also the championship games, the second tier games, and every week in our television was the main game of the week. And the first time I saw Leicester City playing, I think against Derby, and this was the first time, so I fall in love. I really liked the spirit and the fans and the stadium. It was crazy, and I started following every game, hearing the broadcasting in the radio if there is not like in the television. And after a few matches was the famous game that we lost to Watford in the end of that season, and I was so sad. So I imagine now I'm a real fan. And the next season, we went to the Premier League. We made the escape, and then the most famous season of the title winning.
Yeah, again, it's crazy to think of the journey you've been on. Also, you were just mentioning off camera as well about you had an LCFC Israel Facebook page, and then obviously when the title season happened, the Premier League season, what happened then?
Yeah, so my friend Matan, that we met on the Fox's Talk forum. He opened the page in 2011, like 12 years ago, and I joined after 2 years. So we had a little page like with 30, 40 fans. When we went to the Premier League, we had around 100. And the end of that season, we had a big crowd, and now we are more than 3,000 fans on Facebook. And we also have an Instagram page. There we can find a lot of international foxes. It's really surprising to see all the crowd. And the day of like when we won the Premier League was really crazy for me. Many journalists called me, and they invited us to all the interviews in every channel here in Israel. We had like 5 or 6 interviews in the same day. And in the end of this day, I came back home, and I saw the tickets for the title winning match that my father bought. So we traveled together to see
Or
this
Everton?
exciting day. Yeah,
Well, Everton, you were at the Everton game.
yeah, the Everton game. It was
Wow.
crazy to be there. Like it's a dream came true, and I can't believe it happened until now.
Fantastic. That's amazing. And one of that was so hard to get tickets for. But so you visited the stadium before, and so that was obviously that's probably your probably standout experience of visiting the King Power as well.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like before that day, I was like high school student that he's a Leicester City fan. It's really weird here in Israel, and no one knows that team. And when I arrived to the city and I saw all the fans with the blue shirts, it was I felt belong, and it was crazy.
Yeah, that again, that must be so the experience. So you probably say for the match, and you probably saw everything from obviously the celebration. Then I remember there was tons of rain, and then it went, and then they came out again. But you from that experience when you told people "Oh, I'm going to see this. I'm going to Leicester to see the game." What was the response again? How is like, and also like, how is Leicester viewed in Israel?
Like it was crazy. Every channel talked about Leicester for the first time, about the city, about the owner, the players, the famous players that was Vardy, Schmeichel, Riyad Mahrez, all the stars of that season are well known in Israel until
Mhm.
this day. Now there is less interest in the team, of course. So, not the biggest team in England, but it's well known for the win.
Mhm.
Like if there is a surprise in the local league, the coach say we are the Israeli Leicester, so everyone wants to be that legend.
Yeah, exactly, and it goes down in memory. That's amazing. So, also as well. So, how have you managed to meet other LCFC fans, like in Israel, but also online?
In Israel, there are only few. There are there is a Matan that
Mhm.
we are together managing the page. We met on the Fox's Talk
Mhm.
website, and there are other Israelis that maybe had families in the city, maybe had a connection to the club. We meet in the Facebook page the most of the time, and they are commenting on the post, and sometimes we try to build a community to make our merchandise. For example, the
Mhm.
scarf here, uh, these scarves we made with our crest, like you can see the Star of David here
Mhm.
and the Hebrew letters. So we try to build a community. It takes time, but we will do it.
That's great to hear. Again, do you sell them, or is this just for you, the internal people?
Yeah, like we have two. One we made after the champion winning. It was the first car with the
Hmm.
Israeli fans. This
Hmm.
one was like a good seller because it was the best time for the team. And the
Hmm.
other one we made to honor Vichai after
Oh
the
wow.
accident. So when I came to the city this season, I gave it to the fans so they can enjoy it
No,
to
that's
the
really
local
nice.
fans.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Again, I didn't expect that Vichon one. That was obviously that was such a bad time for us in Leicester as well. But coming back to kind of a more happier memories or things like that. So, in terms of since your time's following Leicester since 2013, who's been your favourite manager that you've seen at Leicester?
I really like the team, like not for the tactics, because of the spirit. I think he is also responsible for that team, and he like built the basics of the team that went up to the Premier League and then won the title.
Mhm.
I really like that team. Like always, they've been together with each other, and the fans were amazing.
Mhm.
But for tactics, I think that we made also the upgrades from that season.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you're right. We have made the upgrades from that season, and then we went on. Obviously, the Premier League kept us there, and there's a lot of reason why people forget that we won the league because of Pearson and the foundation he put in place. And in terms of players, again, in terms of the current squad we have, who would you say is your favorite player?
I think in this squad, if we put Vardy in the side, I really like Dewsbury Hall.
Hmm.
He's he's the club. I think he's like grew in the club and he's very connected to the
Hmm.
spirit. And I really like his spirit, his talent, and I wish he will be a big part of the team in the future.
Hmm. Yeah, he really will. And I don't know if you saw his comments after, I think, the Newcastle game. If you saw his comments about what
Yeah,
you thought of
I
that.
said I really liked it. Yeah, I think he is getting bigger with the club, and it's very important to take the responsibility after we lose. And then you can also be the responsible when we will win.
Yeah. Exactly. So, and it's about to again take accountability, which we've done as well. So, in terms of players since 2013, you mentioned obviously Vardy and Dewsbury Hall. In terms of a former player, who's been a player that you've really enjoyed?
I really enjoyed Andy King. I think he's also the club. This is why I bought this shirt. You can see
Hmm.
it, like the
Yes.
shirt we had in the League One.
Hmm.
We can't forget these years. I joined the club like after that years, but Andy King were there all the way from League One to the Champions League. It's very
Hmm.
crazy, this story. Also, I really enjoyed watching Leo Ojoa and David Nugent,
Hmm.
and the legend of Esteban Cambiaso. It was very short, but his spirit helped us to make the great escape.
Hmm.
So it's good times to remember. Uh, but this is the reason we are here to talk
Yeah.
about this team. We are many years straight in the Premier League, and I wish we have a good transfer window to stay here in the
Hmm.
first tier.
Yeah, I'm hoping so again. I'll probably go out in January, so we'll definitely have that. But in terms of a player that you would, well, a player that if you had a choice of like a couple of players that you want to bring in or a couple of
Mhm.
positions, what would you say for Leicester in this transfer window?
Mm, it's really tough. Maybe Christian Fuchs, if he was in the same age, but we need the responsibility. Someone that knows that has this experience to help
Mhm.
the young players and take responsibility. This is why I really like the interview with Dewsbury Hall to see a young player taking the responsibility, and I think we need that players in our club. Also Wesley Morgan and Schmeichel. We miss him. You can
Mhm.
see it. Not only the ability of the goalkeeper. This is a real skipper for
Mhm.
this team.
Yeah. And again, with Dewsbury Hall, he is. You can see there's talent, but he needs time. He's only been in the Premier League what about a year, as in playing regularly, and obviously he's out injured at the moment. But yeah, I totally agree there. I think with I think you're right. We do need that leadership, and the players that are leaders at the moment. So Schmeichel's one of them. Yuri Tillemans looks like he's leaving. Dewsbury. So the players that are leaders. I think one of the ones in the future might be Walt Fass. I think. How have you thought of him so far?
Yeah, I really like Fars. It was sad to see the own goals, of course, but it's like part of his way. But I wish he will stay with us. In the last couple of years, when we have a good new player, we maybe sell him in 2 or 3 years.
Mhm.
He will be able to stay and be a big leader. But I wish we can do it with him. He got the potential to be a real fox.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'm hoping that he's going to be a real leader at the back, which he has shown again of recent. This kind of come down, but I'm hoping so more in the future. I don't know if there's any Israel or Leicester connections. I couldn't think of any players previously.
We had Yakubu, you remember him?
Yakubu.
Igabini Yakubu, he played like 1 year. He was a lone player from Everton. He used to play here in Maccabi Haifa
Mm,
for many years. He was the star.
mm,
So he played in the club, but no, we don't have any other connection. Hopefully in the future. And also, if you remember, our player, the Portuguese defender, that we had like 10 years ago. You remember it?
Um, which
Miguel
position?
Vitor, the defender. Miguel Vitor, he was the center back.
No, Miguel.
He
Ignacio
played
Miguel, that's the
like,
one.
no, Miguel Vitor, he played few games like 10 years ago. He was
Oh.
Portuguese, and now he got Israeli nationality because he's playing here for many years. So this is the new connection. But when he
Ah,
played in the club, he wasn't Israeli.
fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I didn't know that at all. Just coming into kind of Israel and his round. So, what's the football culture like in Israel?
We are big fans of football. Like every Israeli, almost have a favorite team. The local football is good, but is not the best football in the world. This year, we had like a team in the Champions League, Maccabi
Mm-hmm.
Haifa, and like once in 10 years, we have this type of team in the Champions League. But we are really big fans of football. We really like it to watch with friends and with the family. And now in the World Cup, it was crazy. Everywhere, and everyone talks about football, and the girls, the boys, in all the ages. We really like this is our culture, and hope we will get better and maybe bring players to Leicester City.
Potentially, we'll have to see in the future about the scouting and stuff, and they do look all over Europe as well. One thing I was going to say about Israel is there potential for going for the Euros, maybe 2024.
Yeah, maybe we got to the second tier, like the
Mhm.
second stage for the draw, and we are in the same group with Switzerland, and we also went to the first division of the Nations League.
Mm.
So maybe we will do it for the first time. We never went to the Euros. We only had the one time we played in the World Cup in the 1970, many years ago. Maybe this time we got a good generation. We got a player in Fulham, in Celtic, in
Mm.
Germany also. We got some new generation with young players. I hope we can do it.
Yeah, let's see what happened again. It'd be interesting because again, it's not somebody that I thought of as like a footballing nation, but you always me speak to my way is always going to speak to people from that country. You end up feeling positive on, and then you hear that obviously there's a massive footballing club and culture there. But one thing as well, in terms of coming back to the current squad, what are your thoughts on this current squad in as a whole in terms of Leicester? Obviously, we're in a weird position at the moment. 2023 is going to be a lot of change, but just thought about what are your current thoughts on the squad?
I think that the squad is not a big problem. We miss the leadership, and we have a big problem with the injuries. I think that also it's very hard to get a replacement to Jamie Vardy. We got Daka. I really like him, but he's not the same goal scorer. He need some years to get to the Premier League numbers. So I think the injuries are really big problems, and the goals. And I think we have the talent in the team, but we get a lot of goals really easily, and the team doesn't have the same spirit that we used to have. So I think the leadership is also a big problem.
Mhm.
I don't know what to say about our goalkeeper. It depends
You're
the
not a fan of
game.
Danny Ward.
Yeah, I really believe that he can do it, but the gloves of Schmeichel are really big.
Yeah.
So it's tough to bring a goalkeeper that never played for the first team, first lineup in the Premier League to do it for the whole season. So maybe we'll have a new one in this window to help him get into this situation easily.
Yeah, I think they're so we spoke to Rob, so does the Athletic. We spoke to him recently and he said they're looking he said it critically. I don't think he's going to say yes. I think they understand that Danny Ward is not the number one for the long term. It's going to be the one that he's going to be here for the next 6 months, and then we're going to potentially bring in a new keeper to compete. Because I think, as you were saying, Schmeichel, again, you were mentioning Andy King, obviously massive player for us through and Schmeichel was the same. But when a player like that leaves, as you were saying, there's somebody has to step in, and it's not been the same. But what are your thoughts on obviously Schmeichel as well? Obviously, he's a huge. You've been watching him. Imagine you've been watching him the same kind of time that Leicester's been around. Since you've been watching
Yeah,
him, you've seen him in
we
goals.
came together to the club almost in the the same time, so it's really weird to see the club without Schmeichel, and I I was very surprised when he left. Really, really surprised. I didn't expect that, and I think the club also, because we didn't grow up another big goalkeeper to replace Schmeichel. Maybe they will bring a new one. Maybe Iverson will get the chance. Who knows? But I wish that this year it will be like a transfer year to like this young squad to get his time and experience, and of course we need to stay in the first tier without difficulties and without tough times for the fans. I wish we'll do it easier than it looks, and I wish it will solve the problem this transfer window.
I'm hoping so because it's going to be a long end of the season. I feel like a lot of not very good football. I'm hoping so. And just in case, segueing into that, what are your expectations for this season in terms of Leicester?
I expected like we could go to Europe if this season was different, had a different start. I really expected that. Like we had some seasons that we lost the top four in the couple last games, so I really expected that we will do an improvement and maybe go another year to Europe. I think that it's really important for the players and for the city and for the experience of the club. But the summer transfer window was tough. We only signed fast, so I didn't know how this team will look like. I wish that next year we'll get back to like the top part of the table with a young squad, a little of new players to improve the squad. Hope like maybe Tillemans we can leave, make him stay. It looks like really difficult, but maybe we can go through the FA Cup, the League Cup to do like a good state for this season.
Yeah, just as a context for people that are listening, we're recording this before literally an hour before the Newcastle game, so we've no idea what happens in the quarterfinals. Just on that as well, again, last final kind of questions. In terms of the academy, again, is there anybody that's really impressed you from the academy recent? Obviously, we've seen Barnes, you mentioned Dewsbury Hall as well, Luke Thomas of recent, but has there been anybody that you've seen from the academy that you've been impressed by?
Yeah, because of this injuries problem, some young players got the chance to play. I really enjoyed to watch Brandt playing the last game. I thought that Mekatir was excited to play. He had some little mistakes for excitement, but he got big talent. And maybe today we will watch Sami also. He got a big talent. So I wish that some academy players will get into the first squad this season. I think that they can now watch Harvey Barnes and Dewsbury Hall and get a big example for how it can looks like if they will go in this way. For now, I really enjoy to watch the players.
Yeah, I mean there's some great players, and hopefully, as you were saying, with the overhaul of players in 2023, there could be an opportunity for players like Sammy Braybrook, Lewis Brunt to come in, because there is the opportunity there. And as you were saying, especially with Brunt and McAtee again, I think they played well against Gillingham. I might see more, but Father Itay, thank you so much for coming on. I'll leave the link to your social medias in the description, but tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find us on a Facebook page called Leicester City Israel, and the Instagram page in this LCFC Israel, and wish that in the future we'll also have the Twitter page. You can contact us. We are available to talk with you, and hope I'll see you soon in the city. I'm planning to come in 1 month, maybe to the Arsenal game. Yeah, hope I can get tickets for this match, but I plan to arrive to the city after this COVID situation for the first time, and hope we win this match tonight and have this season continue better.
Yes, I'm hoping so, because again, can't get much worse, to be honest. But I'm hoping that we can kind of, these next few matches we could ride out, because it's not going to look pretty. But thank you so much, Itay. Again, if you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, make sure again follow Itay and the social medias down in the description. We'll see you all in the next video. So goodbye.
Come on, Leicester.
Come on.